my own. Hello guys, and just before we get started with today's episode, I'd like to make two quick announcements. First, I'd like to apologise for some of the sound issues on my audio. For some reason, it seems during the podcast, it was you recording through the microphone in the laptop, even though I was speaking through my own microphone, which everyone else could hear. So I do apologise. I've edited as best I can, but it's a little bit ropey. Also, Matt couldn't join us this episode, but Matt wanted to debut a new section, which is all about the news in the European meta. So I will put that in now before the episode starts, because there's no clear point where to put it into the actual episode, and then hopefully from next episode that'll be part of the normal show. As always, guys, thank you very much for listening. Really means a lot to us, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Southron Bannermen. I am your host for tonight, Joe, and I am joined by regular host Ben.
Hi guys.
And our guest for tonight is Wamma.
Hello.
So, how is everyone tonight?
Absolutely shattered, but otherwise good.
Perfect time to do a podcast.
Oh yes.
How about you, Wamma?
Well, thanks. How are you, Joe?
I am okay. Glad it's
I
weekend.
like the idea that we just begin the podcast by just cordially greeting each other, asking how we are. How are you, listeners at
It's a
home?
simple one.
Yeah,
Yeah, please leave a comment telling us how you are.
And then regardless of what the answer is, we continue with what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
yeah. We do it like a kids' TV show. Where it's like, are you going to help me? Oh, thanks. Doesn't matter what the kids have said anything or not. Oh, thanks for helping.
Alright, so this week we are going to talk about all of the spoilers that have come out and ruined all of the other podcast days because we had nice new spoiler images to share.
We did.
We have Pack 5, Pack 6 and the Martell box. And we're also going to discuss some of the results from the top 10 plots from the last episode that Wamma has kindly collated for us.
How many people in the end did you get results from?
We got, in the end, let me just do sums, 22.
Okay.
Although that is including, like, me, you and Matt.
Well, yeah, it'd be silly not to have us in there.
Yeah, and we also have Joe, so Joe can very quickly run down his and...
Oh god, you're going to have to send me what mine were. I remember my top
I can
three.
tell you if you want. I've got it in front of me. You had Varys' Riddle in 10th, Withering Cold 9th, Close Call 8th, Trade Routes 7th, Nothing Burns Like the Cold 6th, Wardeners of the North 5th, Wardeners of the South 4th, Valar Morghulis 3rd, March to the Wall 2nd, and Counting Coppers as a not particularly surprising first.
I generally stick with what I've got. I think there's only one I picked a bit hastily. I think that's Nothing Burns, but
Yeah?
my top three fixed on completely.
Yeah,
I knew that before I did any of the other ones.
Yeah, they're all good plots in all fairness. Now, going on spoilers, I just, because I've got this in my notes and I want to bring it before I forget, and I think I want to say it was Joe from Cincinnati mentioned it, but you have got to love the fact that Pack Calls Someone Always Tells got completely spoiled.
Yeah.
There's a lovely irony to that.
There is.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate that there's been so many spoilers. It's like, it's good for the overall community to get to see all the cards, but it's also a bit of a shame when you get this sort of downtime now. Because all I'm doing is sitting here going, oh, I really want to play with this card, I really want to play with this, and I can't wait to build with this. Just watching the shipping page.
Okay. And that's one of the things, when you get like one or two cards, it's kind of cool, because like, I think there's an idea for a deck, but I don't really know, because I don't know what support's going to be for that. Especially some of the Martell cards for the deluxe. Now we've seen the entire box, I'm deck building, but I can't do anything with it until, well, is the Martell box this month?
We think so.
Yeah.
This month, but who knows? But yeah, it's that 1-2 punch of, here's a bunch of cards that you'd like to be able to use, but you can't. Yeah. And also, you now won't have any surprising new cards until probably like June at the earliest.
We had this in Cycle 2, and it was a bit disappointing because it was largely, there was a bit of people spoiling it early and a bit of the draft packs, wasn't it? Yeah. We saw stuff like Corrin really early.
I think there was one pack in Cycle 2 that got spoiled like at the same time that the previous one was released.
Right.
Like maybe one distributor accidentally distributed the wrong pack to a few stores or something like that.
There was all the Chinese cards that got leaked. Because at least with that, there was a hope that some of the cards were mistranslated. So you didn't quite know, so you couldn't 100% know how things were going to work. But yeah, it's Cycle 2. And so at least now we can start planning for Euros, because we basically know the card pool.
Yeah, I imagine Euros will be the first 4 cycles, and the deluxe is up to the Martell box. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think
Shadows will be too late.
The date, and I don't think Shadows will quite be in time.
No, I think Shadows will probably be that the month, like just after Euros, we'll get the Shadows back.
If Shadows is before Euros, I think it will be close enough that it won't be legal still. Just based off sort of working under the assumption we're going to get a new pack every 4 weeks, because that's usually what they go with.
The other thing as well is the Shadows won't be fully probably fully formed enough to kind of be a thing for Euros as well, even if the pack did come out in time.
Yeah, it's like that from the Shadow spoiler article, the Shadow City for Martel. It reduces the cost to put each card in the Shadows by 1, and you can kneel it and discard a card from Shadows, draw 2 cards. And it's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good, but realistically, you need, what, like 10 or 12 Shadows cards? Banner, and there's multiple neutrals in the first pack. You're going to really struggle to make use of that.
You're going to struggle to make a good deck out of that anyway.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, it's cool. I'm sort of apprehensive about Shadows. I'm sure it'll be fine. I've been apprehensive about a lot of cards, and after I've played them for a bit, you get used to it, don't you? So, yeah. But yeah, so I guess what we're going to do, go for each pack, just go for a card that we kind of think is either cool or very impactful.
Yep. Should we start with pack 5?
That probably would make sense. And can someone fill in while I remember what's actually in pack 5?
Yeah, I'm trying to write it all down.
I've got the pack 5 ones in front of me.
Cool.
I'm already struggling because there are 4 that I want to talk about. I'm going to trust that Joe's going to talk about one of them.
Whoa!
Oh, God.
Why do you think I'm going to talk about one of them?
I think you're more of a wild card, Ben. I know what Joe's been building.
Well,
there's 2 cards in here I could talk about, but one's more freshly on my mind since as I tried to use it today.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Joe's been deck building with something that rhymes with downed sod. And it's a good pack for that deck thing, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. So I'm going to pick a curveball option, because I feel like it was on the ones that didn't get too much chat when the billions of spoilers were coming out, and that is the House Ironwood Knight. So as a reminder for listeners or people that don't speak French and don't know what Google Translate is, it is a 4 gold, 2 strength, non-unique, loyal Martel character, military and power icons. It has the House Ironwood and Knight traits, and it has the reaction that after you lose a challenge in which it's participating, discard 1 card at random from the winning opponent's hand. So that reaction has no, limit once per phase or whatever, so you can get it in multiple challenges. Or if you have multiple ones in the same challenge, you can trigger each time. It's just after you lose a challenge in which it's participating, not as the attacker or as the defender. And it's because it's 2 strength, like usually that would be a downside. But because the reaction is based around it losing, you can just put annoying chump challenges at opponents. And it's like, do you want to lose the claim or the card? And it also discourages chump attacks on military and power. And it's also the perfect thing to defend a Theon Greyjoy challenge with, because it's the same strength and same icons.
Yeah. It's a card I definitely remember it being spoiled, but I didn't pay much attention beyond that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Like with the Shandy Stone sort of thing they're bringing out, there's not much you can really do around it. If it does a chump challenge at you either lose the challenge or you're losing the card, as you said. If you attack, if they don't want to block, easy chump block.
Yeah, and it's like Maester Calliot, except instead of losing an icon, it's get intrigue claim.
Yeah. I do have to keep reminding myself it's 4 costs, though. That's maybe the only thing that puts me off it a little, but the 4 cost cards in Martel are...
It's competing. Like 4 cost is usually where you get the beat sticks in Martel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually your military power icons, isn't it? So it kind of just varies up which one you go
Knights
for.
of the Sun and Palace Spearmen are the ones you need to sort of think of.
And both of them are pretty damn good.
They are. It depends what you want from the deck. If you're trying to focus on using that spot to be where you win the challenges, then maybe these guys aren't so good.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be pretty annoying for people.
I'm just realising I don't remember the last time I saw a Knights of the Sun. I see Palace.
Yeah, I think Knights of the Sun have dropped off because there's enough renown now. You've got the Bastards of God's Grace. You've got Dark Star's got renown, I think?
No, he's stealth.
Oh, stealth. But you've got a little bit of renown, and because it's conditional renowned, and the Bastard of God's Grace is renowned, is a lot more useful.
Yeah, I think it's that, and it's also that Martel has developed a lot more of an attritional game. And so you don't really want to have to play characters that are only good if you keep them on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got to draw them at the right time for them to actually be worth putting out, really. Unless you're doing like I think they're probably better like an Oricasta build where you're going, right, I'm going to skip the first 3 turns effectively for use pots and I'm immediately on 4 use pots or whatever.
Yeah, with Thorin's Behest in the Martell box, maybe they get better, but...
Yeah. And maybe with, there's the put a plot to the use pile event?
Oh, change of plans?
I think it could be.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And so, you could quite quickly get through. And I think with the wars to come, that could be quite useful. It could be quite good. I'm not 100% sure. Cool.
So that's my card.
Joe?
Oh, yeah. As mentioned earlier, I'll go with a card I've tried today, which is Tal the Thrice Drowned. Is it Tali or Tal?
I say Tal, but
okay.
It's it's a made up name.
Yeah. So
I don't think there are going to be any people called Tal listening who are going to be offended at your pronunciation.
But just to remind people, he is a Greyjoy character, Drowned God, Ironborn, Loyal. He is cost 5 and strength 4, intrigue and power icon, and his text is you can marshal non-unique Drowned God characters from your dead pile like they were, as if they were in your hand.
Oh,
Some
this
variation.
one. This card.
So this is the card that Drowned God have been waiting for.
Yeah.
One that all of the whispers have been going around, that thing that makes them good. And having tried it today, yeah, makes it really good. It's
By himself, he's good. The problem is the chud that gets you power when things leave the dead pile.
yeah, combined with a chud that gets power when they leave, and the chud that gives you power when it dies.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
Drowned Disciple the one that gets it when it comes back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that combo is really pretty good, even without this card, which means you can also get them back fairly easily.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I was trying it out today. We were testing against sort of Martell list, bit of proxy on that, and just going, I don't actually have to do any challenges. I'm just going to sit back. And I was playing a really it was a suboptimal list. I built it a month ago and only got to try it out today.
Yeah, I mean you didn't have damp hair in it, did you?
Yeah.
What?
Because it was Greyjoy Watch. I was trying to play it a bit more janky. I had Benjen Stark. I put Bridge of Skulls in there, which I thought might have been fun, but I didn't draw it. But I imagine Greyjoy HRD is going to be the main way it goes.
Yeah,
but this guy just kicks it off quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think after round 2, you didn't win a single challenge against me in the game we played earlier, and there was still nothing I could do about it.
One of the challenges I specifically did to try and get you to discard Tal, so you could have, in case you had Valor.
So this seems fine. All you need to do is run decks with 2 Fire Negates and 1 King of the North.
King in the North doesn't stop him. At least it doesn't stop you bringing things in.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
It stops the trigger for power.
Yeah, it stops all the triggers for power games for a turn or 2.
But, I mean, even then, I think the Drowned God deck probably runs 3 King Balon and at least a couple of the Pillage attachment, literally just to stop King in the North.
Well, yeah, you probably need to. So the only ones I've seen are pre-King of the North, because I've not really seen it much recently. And at that point you didn't need them. I think the only characters I really saw them running were like a Victarion was like the best character you really saw, because once you set up, the combo kind of just does itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how people are really going to deal with him, other than lots of negative attachments.
Yeah.
I think either the meta warps heavily around Tal, or that hot button topic of the restricted list has to do something. Because he really is. Tal is a serious problem. Like, people think Mace is a problem, but Mace is one character who you can deal with. In this case, you've got to deal with Tal, you've got to deal with Damp Hair, you've got to deal with the Chuds that bring power back, and they can all bring each other back into play. So it's like playing a game of like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, the thing
one down, another one comes up, and they keep gaining power the whole time.
The thing I would say, obviously, I've only played against this before this card's coming out, obviously, so this could change things. The most success I've had is where I've just rushed out before they can win and get set up properly. That is sometimes when these like dominance, I win for just not doing anything. That's become popular, Rush does kind of come back to the front.
I do think that's true. I think the fact that there's an event that draws you lots of cards that also synergizes with what you're trying to do in the same pack as Tal is probably going to make the window to do that shorter than it is with
possibly
like Hyper Viper or whatever. I think.
I'm not thinking those. I'm thinking crossing still, and just going balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, heads on spikes only makes them better.
That's why you run Tawny the King on turn 2 and just win through Green Apple Knights in the round.
I think Rush is going to be the way to try to deal with Drowned God, but I think Rush is then going to have the problem that the other decks that are going to be existing, like the Martell lists.
Yeah.
I think Drowned God's probably going to sit quite comfortably on top just because there's not enough, or the meta's going to walk in such a way that they probably have the most plus matchups.
The problem is
those Rush decks also struggle against Burn.
Yes, and that's the big thing. And that's the thing. The problem is that the Martell deck is probably one of the worst decks to play against the Drowned God deck because all your tricks generally help them.
I'm wondering if Targ stopped running Blood of the Dragon too because of that.
Can't
just
flip
it
God.
Play high econ against it and have the chub that dies with Tal out. You just keep playing it.
God, yeah. Just play. I've got 10 gold this turn. Right, I'm playing that 5 times and getting 5 power.
Yeah,
5 power plus the ones you get from your Drowned Disciples for bringing him back each time as well.
Oh dear God, that sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it's already a potential restricted in 2v2 because we've got pointed out quite quickly how to play Targ and Greyjoy together.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. That's not loyal, is it? Oh no.
But yeah.
I'm going to build the dragon to win on my own character to win the game. Oh dear.
That's my card.
I think I'm going to live up to the Wamma's title of, as he said, warning that I'll be a bit of a wild card. And I'm going for what's clearly the best card in the pack. Synergizes very well with the theme I like playing at the moment of Knights. We're going with Sir Pounce.
Yes, there it is.
When
you say it goes very well with Knights, is that just because he is a Knight?
Yes. I'm checking, does he help Apple Knights?
No, they're not unique.
This goes on unique characters only.
No, because he's a Knight.
Oh, I see. I think Green Apple Knights specifies Knight character.
Damn it!
Thrones DB, quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm checking.
So, why everyone check?
Characters.
Damn it. Okay. Anyway, he's Sir Pounce is a 1-cost Lannister attachment with the cat and knight traits. Unique character with prince cost 3 or less only, ambush 1, attached character gains an intrigue icon and does not kneel when declared as attacker in an intrigue challenge. So there's quite a lot of uses for this. One of the ones I quite like is you ban a wolf, you take Arya Stark. Some stealth on the intrigue's pretty good, and not kneeling.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you could also ambush onto a burn then to get double use out of them. I just think it's quite cool, and it's Sir Pounce. He's cool. And he's a knight. That's the main reason I picked it.
Yeah, the knight is a very important thing.
The knight is a very important thing. I don't think there's much to say. I think he's just a cool card. Oh dear God, I'm just looking at that Greyjoy card again.
I only just realised it's a Kairos art as well, and that makes me like it even more.
Yeah. Any other characters with Sir Pounce he's quite good with? I guess a lot of knights are also cheap knights who also got only tend to be power and military. So you put him like a hedge knight. It's not bad.
It's a unique character, I mean.
A unique character. Damn it.
The new Marcella, in theory, you could have put it on there and then have her and
she already doesn't kneel to attack though, right?
But that's only, and she's got so much. So yeah, obviously not the best use.
Did you? Sorry, I had to go away for a second. Did you mention Theon?
No, I mentioned Arya, not Theon.
Okay, yeah, Theon is the best answer.
Oh yes.
Like, there are lots of good ones, but getting Theon in 2 challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. That's really horrible. Oh dear, no, I don't like that. No, I wish I picked the card. Make it go away. Yes. Oh God, Theon. Yeah, that is really, really horrible.
I'm trying to think of ones in faction, and it's difficult.
There's not many in faction. It's definitely a banner card.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane, but then she's going to stand anyway.
Yeah.
But then getting her an extra time in crossing, I guess, without having to spend, you have to use her reaction then 2 more times. But I guess she really wants a military icon, not an infantry icon. So we got it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the best person to put Spounce on is, of course, Tommen. Of course.
Tommen sucks. Except for the fact the only thing he's good for is got the king trait. A bar of sound. You use the core.
3 cost 1, I assume.
Yeah, 3 cost.
I can't remember how much.
You use her in intrigue, you then attack in the military, and then you can defend with the power of her. That's not awful.
Yeah, but then you're playing a Bara.
I like a bar of sound as a one-off sometimes. 3 cost. All that.
I do like that Sir Pounce is like for in-faction options. Sir Pounce is quite poor with the Hound because he bounces back. And I just like that the cat and the dog don't play well together.
Yes. Lannister. It's just going to show you how bad Lannister cards have been recently.
Could you put it on Quentin? The new one.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Martell Lion.
Yeah.
I guess it's got some use in crossing in range decks as well, just as that extra intrigue to help Cersei.
Yeah.
The Queen Cersei. Yeah, there's not so many good options in Lanny, is there?
No.
Because they all have intrigue icons already.
Yeah. So, he's a knight, he should get a military icon. That'd be better.
I'd be really sad though if my Bronn was a pound got stolen from me and started just attacking.
Oh, Bronn is a pounce, that's happening.
I'm now trying to think of janky reasons why you might want to keep someone standing on the opponent's side and just place a pounce on their characters. I can't think of any.
Yeah, no, I can't. Banner to Night's Watch, and then obviously you can have the attacking standing. No, that doesn't work, isn't an injury weapon. Never mind. I was thinking that they've got lots of tech, haven't they? The standing still from the Night's Watch box.
Oh, yeah.
That's generally on military, and you'll be melted.
Yeah, also all of their characters are like no attachments except weapon. And so Pounce may be a knight, but he's not a weapon.
Should be. Bloody should be. Okay. Yeah, I'm quite disappointed I picked him now. Now the more I thought about it, the more I don't like him. Sir Greenpool.
Yeah.
That's
although he will be 1 strength.
Yeah.
He's not kneeling though. Yeah, that's quite disappointing. I'm very disappointed with this card now. Take it away.
There's a whole bunch of good characters for it.
Yeah,
it's just almost all of them aren't Lannister.
Yeah. Damn it. Danny's banner cards. Anyway, the pack 6 then. Wow. What card
very briefly on pack 5. Obviously, we don't want to talk about it properly because 1 per person per pack. But we'd be remiss if we didn't say Danny's really good.
Yes, she is. I like the fact they've made a good Danny, and that doesn't immediately replace the old one. It's kind of there's nice synergy. There's nice options there.
Yes, one of the fun cards of everyone going, I'm not that impressed, but oh wait, she can do that. Oh wait, I could do this with her. Oh god, she kills everything, doesn't she?
Yes.
Everyone's slowly realising how good she is when she doesn't look immediately impressive.
Yeah, and she still kind of works with the burn theme, but doesn't get the benefits of the dragon.
She is the burn.
Yeah, what she put you in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she does work with the burn theme, but I mean, like, she doesn't synergise with the dragons like the other one does. That can make sense because obviously she works really well with the burn theme because she gives everyone -1 strength while they're participating, which obviously is pretty good with burn. But this one obviously does just burn stuff, but then because she doesn't have the Stormborn trait. I quite like the way that kind of balances out. She's also quite susceptible to burn herself, which the other one is less.
She says she can't. Her strength can't
be
reduced by card effects.
I completely missed this. I should really say this.
Anyway, let's move on.
I'll tell him. Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so the Targ Mirror at Euros isn't going to be who can kill the other one's Danny first.
No. Well,
a dragon is no slave. I reduce your 1 by 1. I win.
She may be immune to having her strength reduced, but House Florent Knight can get her. That's all you need.
Yeah, there we go. And that was just going to die for the Mace deck then. Oh, that Mace deck. Cool. Okay, pack 6.
Yeah, I'm just looking through.
I've got 2, but I know which one I'm going with.
I think.
Okay, if you've got one, then go for it.
Well, my one's simple, and again, it's keeping the same thing for the last one. We're going with the Bastard of Night Song. He's the thing I love about this card. There's lots of things I love about this card. So he's a Baratheon Knight with the Bastard traits and Knight traits. 5 cost, 5 strength, military power. Reaction after you've won a power challenge with the Bastard of God's Grace is participating. Move 1 power from the losing opponent's faction card to your faction card. So, things I love about this. Firstly, it's a Baratheon card that's good, and it isn't R'hllor or Dominance themed. Or Nil themed, in some respects, which obviously is R'hllor effectively. Like that. Secondly, great stats for the cost. Gotta always love when you get a 5 for 5. Lastly, it's like super renowned, and it's basically, if you can get him participating in 2 power challenges somehow, he's basically, Clash of Kings on a card, on a stick.
Yeah.
Every turn. I think he's a fantastic card, and I'm hoping you might see some Baratheon themes that aren't just the same old thing.
I think it brings out some of the older Baratheon decks. Like when I saw him, I was starting to think like Barra Kraken, Barra Rose, sort of ones, the more aggressive ones. Because all of the Barras are currently gone off and playing with Dragonstone Castle and Solis and boring everyone to death.
Yeah, it's a good deck though. I have been using it.
Yeah, it's good, but it's miserable. That's all I have to say about it.
So when you got the core ready out and you put Solis in play and you kneel 7 of their characters bar 1. And Core Eddie's there like, come on, please, have a challenge, I dare you.
The other good thing about him is he actually makes Disputed Claim good.
Oh, yes. And
because he can easily trigger it by just, if he wins, his reaction is going to go off, should hopefully get you more power in your house cards, then he's got Renown.
And there's obviously synergy of other things as well, but I could definitely see like a deck with him and the Lancers, just basically stopping your opponent from having power in there. Then you could potentially, I'd have to sit down and work this out, but that potentially helps City Watch because you probably have more power in your house card than your opponent. So there's kind of some synergy there. Obviously, the deck I'm going to do is some form of Tyrell Baratheon Knight theme because it's me. But he fits in that. He fits in real. Him jousting pavilions and being able to stand him with Highguard and Courtiers.
Yep.
That's a pretty good combo. So he goes in, does like a strength, we'll say 7 power challenge. You want to stop it, otherwise that's a lot of claim. And then stands and goes, if you come at me with a power challenge, I'm probably going to win that and get another power off you.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he's really good, and I like the fact he's a new theme, but well, not a new theme, but to say kind of establishing a theme which kind of has been there for Baratheon, but reinforcing it that he's still good at power challenges, but not just with the traditional ways.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what knock-on effects he has, because like Joe mentioned, Disputed Claim. He also makes Ours is the Fury a better option.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, good. Oh, Wamma, you're a bad man.
Ours is the Fury as a very good Barra event. When it still sees play, but it was seeing play around middle of last year in the sort of 7-cost Barra decks.
It really should be seeing play the Solis decks. I should be putting it on my deck.
Yeah, but if your Solis deck's working, then they're not actually doing anything against you to use it on.
That is true.
It's like Lady Insurance and like Stand Insurance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to try him out in a Martell Stag deck with the, not like the Cancelancer style, but with the Viper from the box that gets power when Bastards win challenges. Because what does 5 gold mean in Martell?
Ariane triggers.
It means Ariane triggers, and if they do a power challenge and you can say, not only do you not win the power challenge, but I win the power challenge and get the claim.
Yeah.
And my Red Viper got a power for you doing that challenge as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so disgustingly beautiful.
Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to this card. I really am. I'm looking forward to it, and the card we would have spoiled works for him really well as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he's really good with he's really good for basically any Baratheon deck that isn't doing something very specific that means it can't afford to even have one copy of him, because even if you're just throwing him in as a one-off, he's so efficient.
Yeah, I'd say 5 for 5s that put that brilliant balance there.
He's on that level of the traditional Tyrell 5-coster of Core Knight of Flowers or the Clash of Kings cycle Brienne, where it's he's 5 cost 5 strength with 2 icons, and I mean with those it's renown and an extra ability. Here it's a better version of just having renown.
Yeah, exactly, because it's on your house card, so it can't be valid.
And obviously you're also taking it off your opponent.
Yeah, and more importantly, guys, sort of hold it here. Baratheon got a really good card that's not in the core set.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
I think they've had a decent cycle, at least the second half of the cycle.
Yeah, it's not.
Pack 5 is
The
pretty.
first couple of packs weren't great for Barra, but since then we've had Withering Cold, which I know isn't actually a Baratheon card, but effectively, is most effectively used out of them in pack 3. And then pack 4 we had Solis and Dragonstone Castle.
In all fairness, is it the Queen's Men? Was that the cycle?
That was pack 1.
That's not a bad card.
It's a great card for banner decks.
Yeah.
Or for Brotherhood Wildling decks, but it's not a generally fantastic card. You wouldn't necessarily want to replace it in a mono barra deck. You wouldn't put that in instead of Fiery Followers or whatever.
But even in a normal Baratheon deck, that ability just to see your opponent's hand and get a mail trigger is not awful.
It's true, but 3-cost R'hllor character.
Yeah, the other two are better. I do get it. In a bog standard Barra deck, the other two are better. Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, that's me then. The Bastard Night Song. Go Bastard thing. Who's next?
Go on, Joe.
Alright. I'm struggling to decide what one I was going to go with, but I'm going to go with my favourite art from the pack.
That's always a good one.
Which
The
is
Tully
Mace
Army?
Tyrell.
Really? Favourite art in the pack?
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Oh, okay. I'm like, fair enough. Beauty is the eye of the beholder, in all fairness.
So, yeah, that is Tyrell, Lord, Small Council, and it is loyal. Cost 6, Strength 4, Intrigue, Power, and Reaction. After Mace Tyrell has been knelt, draw 2 cards. Then choose a card from your hand and place it on the top of your deck. It also has +1 gold. So, yeah. Once you get past what the card looks like and take a moment to take that in, it's a pretty damn good effect.
I'm just going to say, can someone in the community please do an alt art? Please. He's pretty good, especially when you compare him to, was it Kyburn in the same pack, which has a similar effect, but is nowhere near as good.
Yeah, it seems like Tyrell are getting a bit of a theme this cycle, sort of that top card, and this is another bit of control, but this is controlling your top card and drawing one of your choice.
Yeah.
So say you have Old Town out, you go, okay, I do a challenge with Mace or I defend with Mace. I'll draw 2 cards, and then I go, alright, what card don't I like? Great, I'll put that back on top of my deck. I'll trigger Old Town. What could that top card of my deck be?
Yeah. Even if you're not running...
What card am I happy to show my opponent, basically?
Yeah.
And even if that's not... even if you're not running Old Town, it's just draw, and it's just knowing what you're getting. You can then pick your next plot based on that card.
Yeah.
And because he works by just doing a challenge, or just being knelt in some ways, so that's brilliant. It's not like it's an action to do it, so you have to kneel him and take him out. You're just doing. You're going to be kneeling him anyway.
Yeah, I think his biggest potential issue is what decks does he appear in, because the Old Town decks at the moment tend to already be using Form's Mace. Or
this is the problem that he has, is his name. That's where the problems essentially begin and end. He's not an amazing card. It's a great reaction, a really, really good reaction, because that, as you say, because of Old Town, the then choose a card in your hand bit almost is irrelevant. And you can also synergize it with like the Hightower Spy from Pack 4 that's reveal the top card of your deck. Then a character gets plus X strength where X is the cost, so you can like, oh, you've attacked me in power for 9. Well, I'll oppose with Mace, trigger him, put this 7 coster on top of my deck. Now I'll drop in a Spy and Mace is 11 strength.
Yeah.
You can do that sort of stuff, and he's a really good card, and drawing 2 is great. That kind of is all he does, because he's 6 costs and 4 strength is not a great combination when he doesn't have any keywords.
See, I could see him in the Reigns deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that I'm in the Reigns deck. I've been playing it this week. I have one of the other mates, and I think I'd almost be more interested to run this one because I'd be more likely to put him out.
And then he's a Mars trigger when he dies, and you're probably not going to keep him around too much longer if you don't need him.
Yeah.
But draw's always good, as we know. Filtering your draw's always good. So I could definitely see him in that deck, because the other mace, I mean, he's not bad seeing that deck as well, but he's not as... I mean, I did win a game by just playing him the other day. But he's not... There's less synergy with him than there would be with this. This mace just kind of fits and just does his job, and the synergy kind of just does itself.
I think the rule will probably end up being that if you're running Hightower, you run the other mace. If you're not, then you consider running this one instead.
Yeah.
I would be concerned if you ran Hightower and didn't run the other mace.
He did, yeah. That's a fair statement. Yeah, Hightower's been good.
Yeah.
I will say this mace will come into his own again to bring up the restricted list. I think if we did get one, then the other mace could well be on it.
I think that's beyond the possibility.
So, you never know. Because keep in mind, I'm saying that, and it's like we don't need a restricted list now or whatever. This card won't be coming out until May, maybe even June if we get delays. And you never know. FFG might want a restricted list for Gen Con, which is start of August. So it could be that after a month or so, this guy comes into the fore.
Yeah. I mean, say if that other mace gets restricted, this card just becomes a good replacement immediately, pretty much.
Or they might just never do a restricted list and he stays as a very occasional choice instead of the other mace.
I'd say it's getting a big subject. I have a feeling. I don't know when it's going to happen. I would put money on us at some point having a restricted list. Basically, every card game ever has some form of restricted ban list at some point.
At some point, yeah. But I don't think it's coming as soon as people might think.
I'm not saying this. We're going to go real something. If I was a betting man, I'd say at least some point after Worlds would be my guess when a Drowned God deck dominates Worlds or something.
I don't think it'll take till Worlds for Drowned God to dominate.
Possibly not, but I think it being on the pinnacle, I think that would be this might need tweaking.
I can see it coming out around just before Worlds, and that would be the first time it's used.
That's the other one, because I did that with Netrunner and just completely changed the meta a month before Worlds.
It's when we had the melee restricted list last year as well. It came out just before the deluxe, then the deluxe messed everything up.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, we should probably move off the topic of the restricted list because it's been talked to death over the last fortnight.
Has it?
Oh, you
sure?
No. Only, to be fair, I've only seen it mentioned in, I think, 5 different private messenger chats, plus another 6 Facebook topics, and a massive article on Card Game DB.
Oh, yeah. That's
Other than that, and an email. I saw it in an email as well. Other than that...
How many of those were you messaging yourself, though?
I know I've brought it up twice on this podcast, but I have not had to bring up the restricted list to have it talked about. It has talked about itself plenty fine.
Right. Okay. Wamma, your card?
Yeah, so I'm glad you chose that Maestro, because I was tempted to choose him. And now that we've talked about some of the more serious cards in the pack, I can choose my favourite. Not that this isn't a serious card, but it's one of those serious cards that is still quite silly. And it is, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Yes, that's a cool card. It's a fun card.
Yeah, for people not immediately familiar, it is a plot. It is plot deck limit 1. It has 5 gold, 8 initiative, 2 claim. It's a scheme, and when revealed, you draw 2 cards. And you might be thinking, well, that sounds ridiculously OP, and that's because for reasons of, narrative drama, I've left till last the fact that it has 0 reserve.
Oh yeah, if you don't win this turn,
You die.
Well, I've been thinking about it. If it's that bad, because probably if you don't win the game with this card, so let's say like the worst case scenario I've seen people talk about. Oh no, you put it in your deck and you get to turn 7, you have to play. You're screwed. Well, no,
By
because
turn 7, you're probably top decking anyway.
You're probably top decking anyway, and also there's other most people have pointed out from their top 10 plots. Counting Coppers is a really popular card. By turn 7, if you haven't got the econ to make Counting Coppers work, or turn 8, sorry, to make Counting Coppers work, you can refill your hand fairly reasonably after this plot if you did not win on that turn.
Yeah.
So you basically, this is a closer, and if you're playing it, you better be pretty sure you're closing that turn. A bit like Rise of the Kraken, effectively. Because the gold sometimes Rise of the Kraken screws you if you don't win that turn. Or used to anyway, not so much these days. And I can see the same kind of light. If you're playing this before turn 7, you're pretty guaranteed you're going to win the game, or you're in a real desperate situation and you're trying to pull it around somehow. So I think it's good. I like the card. I think it's good. I'm not sure how many competitive decks are necessarily going to run it.
We'll see. I think it's going to be underrated because people look at the 0 reserve and they think it's silly. I think the Counting Coppers point you made is an excellent one. Also, I think the Rise of the Kraken comparison is a really interesting one because Rise of the Kraken says, I think I've set up my board well enough that even without basically being able to do anything before the challenges phase this round, I still think that I can win this turn. I think I've given myself enough of a lead that I can just close.
Yeah.
What this is saying is I think that I'm close enough to winning that I can, with the boost of tempo, that I can get over the line. So it's kind of like the opposite of Rise of the Kraken, but trying to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also that it's sort of sacrificing the loss of... Rise of the Kraken is a loss of tempo this turn, but to try to win this turn. This is a loss of tempo next turn to try to win this turn.
So what I'm kind of thinking, now it's sort of been brought up though, is there not the potential that you run stuff like play this deck into Rise of the Kraken, in that you can kind of go, I'm going for a big push, I'm going to get as many useful cards in hand and play them out. The next turn I'm going to flip Rise and I'm going to go for it again. And I know that I don't really need cards in my hand because I'm going to be able to play.
That's a good idea.
I think you'd certainly be a fool to follow this up with trading with the Pentoshi or something. I definitely think they play this and then your follow-up plot being a low gold plot. Because what's the downside at that point?
The other one is Reigns' own agenda.
Yeah.
So 2 claim military, 2 claim power, potentially another 2 claim power if you didn't have Tyrell because you put in an informant or something, and then you go for the intrigue and flip out of it.
No, it's a scheme.
This is a scheme.
Oh, it's a scheme. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. It
had to be a scheme really for exactly that reason.
That's true. So that's a fair point. But then again, you can flip out of it to try and win. I guess that's it. Let's flip into it to try and win. Yeah, if you're sure you're going to win, although that probably won't be as useful.
You're wasting the 5 gold and 8 initiative, but if it's okay, I've won this intrigue with a knight attacking alone.
Yeah.
If one of the 2 cards I draw is Lady Sansa's Rose, I win the game.
Yes,
or
that's fair.
I'm going to be able to win a power by 5 following up on this. If one of the 2 cards I draw is Superior Claim, I win the game. There's loads of scenarios like that where you can leverage that when revealed, and flipping into 2 claim is always nice, obviously.
It's an interesting card. I'm going to play in some decks also, see what it's like. The main question is, other than for the draw, is Retaliation not just better and not handicap you next turn?
I think there's a good case to be made there. I think having the extra gold is nice as well. And also, I think, like with the Greyjoy example we brought up before, or that Joe brought up, to not sort of leverage credit away from him, I think this is going to be better for decks that want to play first.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'm just kind of just. I'm not saying it is better. I'm just kind of feel.
Also, when you say other than the draw is half of the appeal of the card.
Well, yeah, but then I mean, obviously, retaliation you only get 4 reserve anyway, so it's not as if you can have that bigger hand at the end of the turn.
I could kind of see it like sort of the 0 reserve is a nice thing for sort of the decks that like to empty their hand for flea bomb, but I think Martel are going to stay on retaliation if they are going to run their 2 claim because they want to go second, obviously. But I could see stuff like Tug being more comfortable with this.
I was about to say you play Tug, you've got Savaris and Selmy, you've got the army which gets better as you've got less cards in hand, and they love flea bottom. You probably wouldn't be doing. I guess you probably wouldn't be running a burn deck at that point.
I think you run this with like consuming flames and like. Maybe you run this as your plot before the Annals turn?
Yeah, I guess actually you put Effing in the bin and then play Annals,
yeah. I think there are 3 other things that I think this is really good for. Firstly, melee, it is a fun closing block.
Yeah.
For very obvious reasons.
Because you're probably not going past turn 2 or 3 anyway.
Yeah. Secondly, this is the incredibly janky, I wouldn't actually recommend doing this, but it amuses me play. Of running this, like probably out of Night's Watch with all the reserve boosting stuff.
Yeah, so, I have thought about reserve boosting.
0 reserve, and it has to stay 0 reserve. Yeah. If you get out the Iron Throne and Samwell Tarly and all that jazz, then you can potentially keep like 3-4 cards in your hand afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's actually good, but it just amuses me. You win or you die, or you plan ahead and
This is the 2 claim plot that all of the summer decks have been waiting for.
Yes, I had kind of thought about summer, maybe at least with an Iron Throne, keep 2 cards. Might not be awful.
Barra finally running 2 claim. Iron Throne and Barra Summer. So this is going to get you.
The other actually good use of it is with Naga's Ribs.
Yeah.
To just discard all your characters. And
no.
You like round 1, you've got like 5+ characters in your dead pile to set up for the rest of the game.
With the only issue being you're probably discarding all your Arisms at that point.
Yeah.
A little bit, but you're hopefully finding your Iron Mind, so yeah.
That's why you got to do turn 2 Annals.
Turn 2 Annals? God. Oh, God, okay. Yeah.
It's a combo deck now. It's a combo with characters rather than with that.
But say it's a cool card. Worst case scenario, even if it doesn't see competitive play, I'm glad they've made it because I'm going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think it is pretty damn good, but even if it doesn't turn out to be pretty damn good, it's still fun.
Yeah.
And you've got to have fun cards in this game, otherwise what are we playing it for?
Exactly. Cool. So just before we hit the big box, I just want to shout out that Tully Army art is lovely. And needs to be a playmat. Desperately. Preferably one I can win.
Don't want it to be like top 4 at Worlds then.
No, God no. The winner of Worlds gets this. No. Cool. So, Martel box. I'm happy to go first. I literally have the card in front of me. And it's the card we would have spoiled, you bastards. I've gone for Sir Conway Penrose, who's another Brappian card. Another knight, 4 cost, 4 strength, military and power, and he has reaction after you win a power challenge in which Conway is participating, stand him. So, things I like about him. Firstly, stand, good. Good. He's a 4 for 4, good. He synergizes really well with the bastard that we just talked about, because you put those 2 in a power challenge, you're standing 1, gaining 2 power from it. And again, it's really reinforcing this other kind of theme of not having to worry, not having to do dominance or reload.
Yes, it's the second mid-range, highly efficient, non-loyal Barra Knight body.
Yeah. She's going to go really well in my Tyrell deck.
Yeah, Tyrell Stag. No joke. Tyrell Stag. Think about him in that deck on the Tourney for the King round.
Yeah.
With like informants and machinations.
Oh, I have thought about this, and I might have been talking to Martin about this. Yeah, him and the bastard, and you just go do about 2 power. You do 3 power challenges or so. gain all the power in the world. Yeah, no, I'm quite excited by the idea of Baratheon Knights. So yeah, the only issue being Tyrell has a lot of the good 4 or 5 cost knights as well, so it's kind of balancing it a bit.
Also, you didn't even mention the best part about the card.
Is flavor text?
Yes. Is it the justice of your cause you doubt, my lord, or the strength of your arm? Are you afraid I'll piss on your burning sword and put it out? Although, as a first edition elitist, I have to say that I do miss his old flavour text, which was just, what do you think of Sir Courtney Penrose? He's a stubborn man. So every single time I was at a table where Sir Courtney Penrose was played, I would always point out that he was a stubborn man.
I've probably assumed it on the Stannis.
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah, I know I've kind of picked 2 kind of similar cards there, but I'm really excited about the pace and Baratheon.
Yeah, I think we can tell what deck you're planning on building.
Yeah. If it wasn't you, it was going to be Matt.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and also we were sent it as a spoiler, so I kind of felt we should say that we were sent the spoilers. We planned this podcast so we could release them on Monday, get one ahead before they all got spoiled, and then someone spoiled them all 2 days ago. Not that I'm bitter.
It's a shame. Like, I get why people do it. It would be a bit harsh to ask someone to just sit on all of the spoilers.
No, I agree. And if I was in issues, I'd probably have done the same thing. So,
but as someone that likes to be surprised, it's a shame that they got dumped at once.
Actually, I would say I disagree with that statement. I wish you'd done what the previous people did, at least one a day. Because
that was good. Just getting to give each one its own spotlight.
Exactly. So everyone got discussion. Even cards that probably would have been forgotten about quite clearly because, compared to the other cards that no one knew was citing the fact, they all got their own time. Even if it was, I'm not really sure this card's any good. But there was sometimes a bit of discussion about decks that could work in at least. Whereas now a lot of the cards are just being shoved under the carpet and no one overly, I wouldn't say overly cares, but they're just not as cool as the shiny cards that are far better.
Yeah.
Anyway, next card.
One last thing on Penrose, sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to very quickly also say he's really good with core Stannis.
Yes, yeah.
Any effect in Baratheon that says stand on it, my immediate thought is core Stannis.
Yeah, no, I think that's quite. I hadn't thought about that. That's really good. I was too busy thinking what could do at night.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
Ben, have I got the deck for you, right? Barrow Rose.
Yeah,
Stannis to stop all their things from standing. Green Apple Knights don't kneel.
I know, that sounds brilliant.
That's all I've got. But
No, I think we've got this. Stannis and his knights.
Yeah.
Lord of Renly's right to get some intimidating there.
Stannis borrowing all of Renly's knight, especially Lord Renly's right.
Yes. Oh, this is perfect, and it's themed. It's just after Renly died. They all came over to him. Well, most of them.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to run the Tyrell, like the actual, named Tyrell cards in that if you wanted it to be Nedley. I don't think Garl and Stannis teaming up would be.
Can I just say in this deck, it's got to be done. It's non-loyal. Renly's host. I don't care. It doesn't have stand tech. It's just for the hey Renly. Can we see the Renly guy? I don't know, but I've got his host. Oh yeah.
I just like the image of you doing that and just people are just going, look, Ben, no one likes a gloater, okay?
Yeah. And I'm playing you put the crown of golden roses in there as well.
Yeah.
Hey Tyrell, I'm your king now. Yeah.
Now I'm just imagining Stannis in front of the mirror, like posing as Renly with the crown on his head. Get me, I've got a big host.
Okay, yeah. I'm done. This is it. Right, when the Martell box comes out, there's my first stream.
The Stannis cosplaying as his younger brother deck.
That's amazing. It's got all the cards I like as well. Oh, Wamma, you're amazing. That's why we have you on. Right. Matt, can we talk about Matt's place on the podcast at this point? He's not bringing you this gold.
I don't know if I have Matt's enthusiasm. I think
That is very true. Right, next card, because we've got to talk about plot still.
Sure. Joe, that sounds like your job.
I still haven't picked one, so go ahead. I keep looking through and can't decide.
There's too many good ones.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I've got my choice then. Karth is a 2-cost Targaryen location. No, that's a shit card.
That's fantastic.
What I love about it is the way it does things that Targ can already do, but worse. I'll be boring and go with one of the WoW cards of the pack instead of one of the cards that speaks to me in particular, just because I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about with it. And that is Jade Sea Dromund. So this is neutral location, cost 2. It has the warship trait and the limited keyword. It gives +1 gold. So basically Rose Road, but costs 2. So obviously great. But then it also has the dominance action. Kneel and sacrifice Jade Sea Dromund to choose a non-limited location with printed cost 3 or lower and discard it from play.
Yeah, it's so this caused a lot of chat in one of our Facebook groups. There's initially some people saying it's a bit OP, and then other people kind of pointing out some of the downsides, and I kind of went back and forth on it, and currently it's still in a position where I'm thinking it's a good card.
It's a good card.
It depends. I think it depends on your deck. Obviously, Euron Crowseye loves this card.
I mean, to be fair, Euron doesn't exactly lack for ways to discard locations.
But more ways of discarding locations. The issue is, I think as you point out, Wamma, paying 2 cold for 1 to get 1 back. If you push your opponent's not running many locations, that kind of hurts.
It's more the long term thing though. Is that you don't run too many of them, and if you see it early, it's quite nice that you just have it on the board as a potential option. But it will potentially become dead weight in your hand later on.
Yeah, I think the point of it is that you're using it. Like the only reason you'd even consider it in your deck is for that dominance action, and the +1 gold is your backup for if the opponent doesn't have a non-limited location of cost 3 or lower that's worth discarding.
I could see like Brotherhood decks and Wilding decks liking this, but don't make because you've got the Ocean Rose to reduce it.
Yeah.
And it's neutral econ. Obviously, although obviously you probably have your banner, your main faction's econ, even if. But then saying that might not synergise too well, so it potentially could fit in there fairly well. Like I'm thinking like my Baratheon Brotherhood deck, because I don't run a dominance package, so the Baratheon econ's a bit pointless to me.
Yeah, and if you're going to include it in Baratheon, though, you've got to include Salador Sarn.
Yes.
Getting to get around the downside of it eating up your limited slot for the round.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's quite nice actually.
So for people that have forgotten Salador Sarn because don't remember the tale of Salvador Stark, that he's the one who, when you win a challenge with him, you can put a warship or weapon into play for free.
That was a good deck.
Yeah. I love how you built that deck, and the entire time you were building it, you were like, "This is rubbish. This is never going to work." And then the very first game you played, it went off perfectly round.
It really did. If you haven't seen that video, guys, I recommend you go back because that was it. Just I don't think it worked too well for Ryan after that. He took the store championship, and I think he went 2 and 3 or 2 and 2 of it.
It did okay.
That's good. That's a good achievement for him.
True. It's good. Obviously, it's a very meta-dependent card, so locations do drop off, which look like they're not going to anytime soon. Then this is a good option. Is it better than was it the one that Matt loves? Siege Bodyguards.
I mean, it's tough to say because
it's a different approach, really, isn't it? Seized is a long-term sort of.
Well, I'd say discarding it altogether is a longer-term way of getting rid of a thing, whereas seized. Seized works for, what is it, bestow 5, so it's between like 1 and 6 rounds, but if you're having it for more than a round or 2, it costs more than this.
Yeah, and I did use those the other day. That's what I was running Matt's deck, and it had Tyrell enough money to make it work.
Oh, I watched one of your games, and because I knew a Matt's deck, and just enjoying looking through your discards of. No, the Black Water discard. Seized by the guard and put to the sword for reserve. Next turn, discard. Seized by the guard for reserve.
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't. He didn't have any locations out, did he? That was that one deck. That game. There was another game I did it to his. I think Astapor. That felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And then he confiscated it, and I played the second one.
So I think this card's gonna be. It's gonna be a meta call mostly. I think. You'll see it as a one-of in some decks. People might prefer to use something like this over using a plot slot. It makes it, or it potentially works better with stuff like Nothing Burns Like Cold, because it's why I think we've seen a resurgence or a surge input to the torch, not a resurgence, because you want to blow up the outer locations to get your Nothing Burns off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it will see play. It won't. I imagine a one-of to start with, then maybe some decks will maybe like it as a two-of.
I think that's the thing is, because it's a non-unique, people tend, as a general rule, to think of non-uniques as a 0-of or a 3-of a lot of the time. And I do think it works best as take out one of your econ cards maybe for it, try it as a one-of, see how often you're actually getting to trigger that dominance action and tinker based off that.
Yeah, I didn't realise that it was non-unique until I looked at it a few minutes ago, because I had it in my head it was the main card. I was viewing it as stuff exactly the same way as sort of like Sea Bitch, really.
It's one of the many Dromans that, travel across the Jade Sea.
The other one I would say to it is, do you rather run more limiteds if you're running this? So do you up maybe to 10 limiteds?
I mean, I'm usually already.
This would be your 10th,
or 10th or 11th maybe. I mean, that's the other thing I'd be looking at, because it's not great econ if we're not running locations that are worth discarding, or running locations. Especially the classic one. A lot of people run like free Astapor. The amount of time I've gone, I'm going to discard that Astapor with various effects, and then they play the dupe, and that's kind of feels quite crushing.
I think I'm really interested to actually see that in practice, though, because it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the first card we've got that's got the limited keyword where you wouldn't say its primary function is an economy card. Obviously, it is +1 gold, but like we said, you're not going to play this over Rose Road for the gold. You're going to play it because of the dominance action.
The Lannisport Moneylender, maybe.
I mean,
his primary purpose is the gold stuff.
I guess, yeah, because he's not a very good character. I guess. I was just trying to think of another non-traditional limited location or card. I'm not 100% convinced.
I'm interested because if it didn't have the limited keyword, it would be phenomenal.
It would be amazing. I would have no questions over it. That limited keyword and the cost for it, then yeah. Anyway. Joe.
Okay. Alright, I'll go with. I thought I was going to go with this one at the start, but I'll stick with it. And that is Taste for Flesh.
Yes, I was hoping you would do that. That's my other choice.
Which is a Stark event, 0 cost, non-loyal. And it is a reaction after you win a challenge in which you control an attacking direwolf character or an attacking character with direwolf attachment. Choose and kill a defending character.
Yeah.
So direwolves have been picking up a little bit because Nymeria is one of the best start cards that has appeared in a long time.
Bonkers. She's bonkers.
This is a very strong effect. There's the cards where you kill something on defense have always never really picked off too much because it's sort of Stonecrow's throwing axe. They're always obviously on the field, so they're telegraphed. But this has, obviously, you can't see this and it's a 0 cost, so it has that advantage right off the bat.
So there's...
Sorry.
No, you can finish quick first.
But the current deck that's appearing a lot, Stark, is Stark Reigns, which is as a direwolf deck. So you're going to punish people quite heavily for even trying to stop you winning by 5.
Yep.
Like, you go in Intrigue, if they try and block it, you boost up with Nymeria. The whole jumping in of wolves now, it kind of throws off your opponent's ability to defend you a lot, and this card just punishes any missed attempt at doing it if you use any character of worth.
So the big things I think of this is Direwolf I got knocked out the Westeros Champions League because of a Direwolf deck. So I'm painfully aware how brutally awful some of the choices are. So you now basically got the option of you put, let's say, Grey Wind or Nymeria or Grey Wind into a challenge. You now risk being knelt out if you don't defend. If you do defend, whatever you defend was potentially going to die. Nymeria then basically becomes this. Oh, you're gonna put Marge into that challenge, are you? Cool, bang, she's dead. All this, you just can't defend, and if you don't put it, you get knelt out with other things. And then Bran stands one of them, and you do it again.
Yeah.
It's pick your poison time. Now the other one with this, and funny mentioned throwing axes, a deck I'm planning on streaming soon. Based on what I saw, I don't think the guy built it particularly well, and I think I can potentially make it look a bit better.
But Cyberats took this Stark Reigns deck to Worlds.
No, Besieged with... you now have to defend. So, especially, again, Grey Wind synergy, you use Grey Wind to kill their chuds. They now have to defend some good characters. Some of them are going to die by defending. So,
that's really brutal. I like that a lot.
I've been seeing that with. That's what I've been thinking with throwing axes. You know it's there, but you have to defend.
Yeah, I remember back in Core, people were playing around with Dornish Paramour and throwing axe.
Oh, nice.
But it was incredibly janky then because most of the Ironborn didn't have an intrigue icon, and that's all the Paramour.
Yeah.
So it was you were having to run
noble lineage or
that stuff just to really be able to actually get the combo to mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm really glad that Taste for Flesh is good because I heard some people sort of saying, "Oh, it's it's really OP," and it's like it is really OP, but only if you're running a direwolf deck.
Yes.
And unless your name is Sambrat, people haven't really got direwolves to work properly yet. Like you get the occasional people using it well, but broadly, that's a deck that has existed but not seriously been played since Pack 2 when we got the Kennel Master.
Yeah, and the other one's that new brand is really good, the Direwolf brand, but Targ Burn is quite a big thing, and it's not too hard to kill him.
Yeah, and also what's really good against Targ Burn is Core Brand.
Yes, which was another issue.
It's I'm really glad that we got these cards because even if it's not like we're getting overpowered cards for every Stark deck. We're getting overpowered cards for a Stark deck that hasn't really existed yet. So Taste for Flesh will feel really annoying when it's played against you, but in exchange for playing it, they're going to be running, I don't know, presumably Direwolf Pup or Wolves of the North or whatever else, just to have the opportunity to use this. And they're running those cards instead of, I don't know, Jon Snow or Robb Stark or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not making the existing decks stupid, it's creating new decks.
It's the card I'm looking forward to using. It'd be interesting, and I think if you don't put in light warm rain potentially as well.
Yeah.
You can potentially kill a lot of characters just by the challenge based going as it does normally.
Yeah, without even military claim, just Taste for Flesh, Light Warm Rain, Grey Wind, especially combined with Wolves of the North. Nom. But one thing on the nom and the art of this card, it really strongly looks like the direwolf's just trying to kiss the guy.
Yeah, I can see that actually. I've got the art right in front of me. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, looks like Joe's internet has died.
Ah, splendid.
Okay, well, we'll try and carry on as getting as we've done all. Oh, suppose we have done all the cards at least. Okay.
It's okay. He's Deadwood. It's fine.
As I said, if you can rejoin, question mark. Yeah, it's a good card. There's quite a few good cards in that pack actually, not just for them. The Great John. Is it Great John? Yeah, he's good. He's just good.
The best example I heard of using him, and I don't think it's actually the best, I just think it's the funniest, is in a Lanny Wolf with the Shadows event that shuffles your plot deck back into your use pile back into your plot deck, so that you get to having like 2 cards in your use pile, and then when the third would go in, you reset it.
Oh dear! Is the army loyal that also works on?
Great John's Vanguard. I don't think it's loyal, no.
Oh man, that'd be really good.
Joe's back.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so that's some of the cards we're looking forward to. Now on to the meat of the episode. As it says, over an hour in.
I don't think this will be the meat of the episode.
No, but so obviously we asked you guys to send in your lists based on your top 10 plots to kind of go, well, we've done it, what can you do? And Wamma has been collating this information, done a traditional scoring system of 10 if you picked at number 1 to 1 if you picked at number 10. And what's the findings shown? What's the community think?
The community, surprisingly, has more or less agreed with us.
Yes.
So just for the sake of actually talking about it, I'm going to quickly send you both what the list is.
Cool.
And we can use that as a basis of discussion. So the headlines are, basically, it was a 1-horse race for first, counting coppers very, very comfortably was the first place. It was the only plot that featured on every single list. And on average, its placement on those lists was second. That was actually quite a lot of first place placements, and then like a few people putting it in like third, fourth, fifth. It was by far the most picked plot for first place. And it comfortably won. It's everyone's favourite plot at the moment, apparently.
It's pretty good.
Second and third was a very tightly run race between March to the Wall and Valar Morghulis. They finished only 6 points apart. They were both on 20 out of the 22 lists. March just pipped Valar to second, and then Valar Morghulis was third. Then there was a little cluster of plots fighting for the rest of the top 10, basically. So we had fourth was Valar de Harris on 71, mentioned on 10 of those lists. Fifth was Varys' Riddle with 65, mentioned on 14. Sixth was Annals on 62, mentioned on 11. Seventh, First Snow, which was mentioned on 12, had 57 points. Eighth was Time of Plenty, which had 54 points, was mentioned on 8 lists. Ninth was Trade Routes, with 48 points, mentioned on 11 lists. And 10th was Rise of the Kraken, with 32 points, mentioned on 7 lists. So there was a big drop-off after Trade Routes before Rise, but 4th through 9th was pretty close. No more than 6 points between any of those plots. What I find interesting there is that Valar de Harris was only mentioned on 10 lists out of 22, and yet it still was the 4th highest plot overall.
Yeah.
It seemed either people just, I don't know whether that's some people, not taking it into account because of, recency bias, or whether that's just, it's one of those plots you either swear by or you don't.
No, this actually...
I mean, with our lists, Ben, you and Matt both put it in your top 3.
Yeah.
I think. Or I think maybe Matt put it 4th. I can't remember. You both had it really high. No, it was both top 3. Matt had it 3rd, you had it 2nd, and then I didn't have it at all.
Yeah.
And it seems like that wasn't too... Yeah, and Joe didn't have it in his list. And that seems more or less how the community's treated it, in that you either love it or you just don't care about it.
I think that's a fair assessment. So there's a few people I chat to from around the world about decks and stuff, and there was, I can't remember. There's two guys sent me the list. They're both European, and I'm going to struggle now to remember their names. I do apologise, guys. But basically, I said to them, "What about Valar Harris? What about these decks?" And they're like, "Valar what? You mean Valar Magoris?" I'm like, "No, Valar Harris." I'm like, "Never see it, mate." Whereas Francis, who's in the Canadian meta, there, if you're not considering Valar Harris, you're probably going to lose. Your deck probably doesn't stand a chance. You need to be able to have ways of playing around it. So it could be a very meta-dependent card, I guess.
I've been tricked by at least viewing it like Duel, in that it's there. You probably can tell when it's going to appear.
It's far better than Duel, though.
Yeah, but it's almost, I think it's an obvious appearance, and you need to be wary of it in how you play and what you play out.
Yeah, I mean, it can
that's
cause
about it.
It can cause blowouts. Like a few decks I've been running recently, First Snow. If I see First Snow, I basically lose because I can't recover from it because my cost curve is so low. But if First Snow is not seen, they're really strong decks. So
yeah.
I don't know. The big one I've got, which I'm going to jump down a little bit here, is, and I think I spoke to Wamma about this before. Naval superiority in 16, only got 19 points, but it was only on 2 lists, which means someone rated it first.
It had 1 first and 1 second.
What?
Yeah, and the best bit is, after complaining about this, I got navaled on the stream, and it works. I still won the game, it's fine. But yeah, the naval, I think it was on. I can't remember if it hit, but it's a pretty meta card at the moment. Oh, was it King? I think it hit King of the North.
Right. Okay.
Because obviously that's an edict, I believe. Yep. But so he basically put it in there, figuring King of the North become popular, and tried to predict when people are going to play King of the North and play this to counter it. The issue being he didn't have a king, couldn't use any of his econ, and I still had more econ on him. I think I have the Arbor out, so I was like, yeah, I'm still good for econ, it's fine. But yeah, but actually getting naval, I was like, oh, actually that's because that's a card I just don't consider anymore. Everyone opens, well, not everyone, but so many people open summer plots these days. Yeah. So yeah, but that really shocks me how high up do people still have it.
Yeah. One of the ones that I thought was really interesting was Time of Plenty, which was 8th. So it was only featured on 8 lists, but its average placement on those 8 lists was 3rd. So it seems like, again, it depends on whether you are basing your plots on how much impact they have, or like on how much you play those plots.
Yeah,
because if you are only basing it on impact, really, you're not going to include it at all. If you're basing it on how much you play it, a lot of people play it in the vast majority of their decks.
Well, what's it? Summer Harvest has become an opener again because so many people are opening with Time of Plenty.
Yeah.
I don't think I had Time of Plenty on my list, but I run it in pretty much all of my decks. But I think I viewed it as, I didn't consider it an impactful plot in that it was a top 10. It's just a good plot.
Yeah. I'm surprised how low Heads on Spikes was. Only on 5 lists.
Because we all secretly hate Heads on Spikes.
Well, we do all hate Heads on Spikes.
2 of those were yours and Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's but at the same time, I didn't put annuals on because I hate the card so much I forgot it existed. No offense to Alex. Was Alex who made it?
Alex Hines, yeah.
Yeah, no offense to you, Alex. I like the design. It just makes horrible decks.
Yeah, you dislike it in practice. You like it in theory.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, it is quite hard. You're looking down here, I'm looking at some like the 30th. Like the 30, like, oh, that's a really good plot, but not good enough.
It's worth mentioning across those 22 lists, there were 41 total plots that got at least 1 vote.
Yeah,
the lowest of those were Feast for Crows, Building Orders, and Fortified Position. Each got 1, a solitary 1. Where they were 10th on one list and didn't appear on any of the others.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. That's the only one of two people to have for the watch on my list.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good plot. I'm quite surprised.
I almost put it on mine.
To be fair, it's probably one of those plots that's more in the... You'd probably have it in your short list and then cut it. I just really rate it because it annoyed me so much.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of your list, Ben. Like the very top of it was your favourite plots to use, but then a lot of the rest of your list seem to be plots that have pissed you off.
Yes, that's a fair assessment. Heads and spikes, skill card. The other, if I'm not mistaken, the other interesting one, which I thought would at least be on some lists, was Winter Festival, and that's not. I don't think it made a single list, did it?
Nope, not even a one.
Yeah.
I wonder if that wins the prestigious best plot not to have featured on a list.
when almost 40% of all the plots have made more than that, in fact, 45% of all the plots have made the list. That's not very prestigious.
Actually, no, it's not even that. I think Filthy Accusations is probably the best one that didn't make the list.
Didn't Matt have it in his list?
No, he had it in his honourable mentions.
Okay.
And also, Barring the Gates didn't make any list. You could probably make a pretty reasonable plot deck out of plots that didn't feature on any list.
Well, I think that shows good health of the game, in all fairness. And I think it's also arguable, so probably some of these plots that only appear on one list, they're probably interchangeable with the plots that didn't make the list as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal favourites, you get the sense.
Yeah. So, for instance, like, looking at this, like Noble Cause, which made one list, which I think was Matt's.
Yeah.
Which is Matt, yeah. You get 7 points, but really, that is arguable. Littlefinger's meddling, I don't think I'd be even in my conversation, so... Yeah, there's plots on here which I wouldn't consider. That's the great thing about this. It's personal opinion.
Yeah. But someone even put Battle of Boxcross.
Yeah.
Huh. What idiot.
Yeah.
And another thing, King of the North, 20 seconds. Seriously,
The
people.
King of the North.
The King of the North, 20 seconds. Have a word with yourself, people. But at the end, it's quite a recent plot, so that probably affects some people's opinion on it because. The meta's still kind of sliding on that. And I've won lots of games with that plot just because people aren't prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it with Valor de Harris as well, and obviously that's like 3 months older than the King of the North is. Withering Cold was only joint 18th, and that's swiftly becoming a really popular plot.
Yes, there's some really good plots.
Whereas you go to those ones near the top of the list, the first two, Counting Coppers and March to the Wall, are core set plots. Although, in fairness, I think they're the only core set plots until we get down to Heads on Spikes in 12th, but still.
Yeah, and then got Crash Kings 18th. Confiscation 22nd. There's a lot of core set plots in there.
16th as well.
No, I'm still not counting that. I refuse to believe it exists. I think the big thing to take from this, there's still, as you say, there's a lot of good plots that didn't even make this list at all, which is good for the game. Obviously, I think the plots that finished top are the plots which you see in a lot of decks, and they're good no matter what deck you're running, necessarily.
Yeah, we've got basically, if we go down the list, Counting Coppers, high impact, really good.
Yeah.
March to the Wall, high impact, really good. Third, Valor, high impact. Valor de Harris,
Really?
high impact. Varys' Riddle, like, incredibly efficient, potentially really high impact. Annals of Castle Black, high impact. First Snow Winter, high impact. Time of Plenty and Trade Routes, the two most played, best econ cards in the game.
Yeah.
And it's only until we get down to 10th with Rise of the Kraken and Wardens of the South in 11th that you start to get into those plots that are more about how they affect the round, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm certainly surprised Rise is over Wardens. Now, yes, Rise, I was talked about earlier of Rise. Now, Rise, if you do it right, you can win the game off it. But Wardens just seems a more efficient, less risky plot, which also still gives you that advantage.
Wardens is easier than Rise.
Mm.
And I mean, obviously, I prefer Wardens. Wardens was on my list and Rise wasn't.
Yeah.
But I do see why the public have gone with Rise over Wardens.
I could see the mental kind of connection. Rise is the plot that wins you the game. Wardens is the plot that lets your characters win you the game.
Yeah.
You probably connect with Rise being the better plot.
It's also worth pointing out with stuff like Blood of the Dragon or for the watch. I can see anyone picking those cards because whether you play that faction or not, you've been hosed by that card at least once.
Yeah.
With Rise and Wardens, both of the South and of the North, I imagine they're the sort of plots that you're much more likely to pick for a list like this if they're your faction's plots.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like, I mean, for example, Ben, you had Wardens third on your list, and you've been playing a lot of Tyrell Knight stuff lately.
And Reigns.
And Reigns, yeah.
And Summer.
Richard Walker had Rise high on his list, and he's obviously a Greyjoy fanboy.
Yes, he is.
He's also the one that put Oxcross on Deviant.
I guess Oxcross has got some uses. If like you got Core Balon, then you got Freya. No. Rich gave me a compliment today. I want to kind of give one back. He said I was right. About something. It's the nicest thing he's ever said about me. It's an interesting exercise. I think when we do the characters, oh dear God, that's going to probably be a longer list, and I think that's going to be more varied.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's probably going to be a lot less of a definitive. This is like we had a definitive number one and a definitive second and third. I think I could definitely see there not being such a definitive top.
Yeah, I think that's a large part of that is due to the fact that plots are almost all neutral. So
yeah,
the faction bias doesn't really come into whether Counting Coppers is good or not because it's good for all the factions and all the factions can use it. Whereas you're much more likely to appreciate how good your Tyrell characters are if you're a Tyrell fan. Whereas you're much more likely to appreciate your Balon or whoever if you're a Greyjoy player, and so on and so on.
When we did the Lost episode, I was talking to Martin about my list just to kind of get a second set of eyes. Mainly just kind of confirm. I was hoping to kind of confirm what I was thinking. It didn't work. He disputed the entire thing. But he said he liked like Danny number 1 and Khal Drogo number 3, which didn't even make my list. But he's been playing a lot of Targ. So that's obviously influenced his choice. And he said to me, one person said, "You played a lot of Tyrell recently, haven't you?" I'm like, well, yes, I have.
You said spoilers, half of Ben's list was Tyrell.
Whoa, 40%.
Was it only 4 of the 10?
Yeah, only 4. My first draft was 5.
Cut Green Apple Knight at the last minute, didn't you?
I did, yes. Because I looked at it and went, man, there's a lot of Tyrell cards in there. Yes, so... but then again, especially the characters you say, that's more what I'm used to seeing them.
Yeah, you can appreciate how good they are because you're intimately familiar with how good they are.
Yes, exactly. Whereas some of the other cards, did we mention that the one where Matt said his controversial choice at 8th was Ariane Martel? Which point we said the only thing controversial about that is why is she an 8th and not a higher in your list?
Yeah. She was on all our lists, and Matt thought he was controversial for including her. When he was the lowest ratings for her. I had Ariane at 2nd on my list. I think she's that good.
I think she was top 4 on my one as well. She's just, such a good card. But, there we go. But cool. Well, Wamma, thank you very much for collecting those.
That's okay. It was very, I am a total stats geek, and so it was a lot of fun to just get to, every time I got a list, getting to, update, see, that's pushed marched above Valor or Valor above March. Oh, First Snow's done good out of that list. That's moved up a couple of slots.
It's almost a shame we couldn't have got more of these and done in the election night thing. We have the stats appearing.
Break it down, have a swing on it. The Dragons gained there.
That's what we're going to do. If we do this again in a few years' time or so when more cards come out, that's exactly what we're going to do. Last time in the UK, Blood of the Dragon made the top 10. But you can clearly see it swung back.
Before we end it, I just want to also give one last shout out, and that is to Pulling the Strings, as the highest rated plot to only feature on one list. It only featured on one list, but on that list it was 3rd. Someone thinks Pulling the Strings is the 3rd best plot in the game, which, more power to you if you like that plot that much. And I just like that, maybe a lot of people don't care about Pulling the Strings, but it means a lot to somebody.
It's a good plot. It's just hard to place it that high.
Oh wait, no, I just realised that was Adam East that put pulling the strings third. Okay, no, cancel that.
Oh no, awful choice. Why'd you have that on your list? I mean, it's your opinion, but you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's better.
Adam East. The man you love. The man who's made me appreciate Darren might not be the worst human being alive.
That's a pretty big thing to say.
Well, we had to get the one man story Darren commented the episode. Right, quick thing, guys. I know we're going to do the next episode, but what do we do next? Do we do locations? Do we do characters?
I think we can do characters, because if we're going to put a restriction on it, like we talked about only doing characters like of cost 4 or higher or whatever.
Yes.
So that A, that mixes up our lists. B, it makes us have to consider it more. And also, the list is going to be different to before anyway, because now Joe's going to be on it.
Yep.
That's going to be fun.
And also it means we can do another list with 3 cost or less.
Yes.
Yeah. Content.
And I'd still rank all the chuds as one character.
Yes, we are ranking all the chuds as one character for you, because the spoiler we didn't, Wamma's top 10 was basically...
I had in 5th space all 9 reducer chuds, so if I hadn't had to separate them out, they would have been 5th, 6th, 9th and 10th, with 3 of them in my honourable mention.
That's that. What about you didn't have the one from Draft Only? That's been your honourable mentions.
Which one, sorry?
The neutral one in Draft Only.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not in the Joust legal pool.
You know, I actually had to pull one of those out as to proxy as a garden caretaker the other day, because I had 2 decks.
Nice.
And I needed an extra. I had a banded faction, I needed 1 garden caretaker. So, it's garden caretaker. It kind of works, doesn't it? Yeah, good. Cool. Okay, well, that's plots. So characters, I guess, give it, I don't know. I guess you could include all the spoiled cards, because we kind of know what they are.
We can do like all of Cycle 4 and the Martell box, and then we can record any time in the next 3 months and just release it whenever you want to.
Exactly. This is brilliant. I love it. Okay, I guess, Oh, I'm looking forward to doing all those characters again. That was a painful list to do. when you first start and you go, right, my rough draft is 42 characters.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm going to stop trying to put in a list of characters that should make the top 10, and I'm going to try and find a list of characters that I'd consider for top 5.
Yeah.
And then see how many I end up with. Oh, it's only 17 this time. I think should be top 5. That's okay. I can work from that.
Yeah, that was a hard list. That was a really hard list. But cool. Okay, well, Wamma, thank you very much for coming on and doing all the data.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Joe.
Before we go,
quickly.
I just want to bring up that we have the Brighton Charity Joust next month, and we have 1 more week left of our crowdsourced deck for Wamma.
Oh!
Yeah, last year we had Ryan play a deck which was built up from donations, and this year we've got Wamma on. So, if you are interested in helping us build a deck for Wamma to play then next month and potentially winning a playmat or some plot or house cards in the process, I'll post a link along with the episode where you can find out more about it.
So just to very quickly, because not everyone will bother to click a link, but some people might find it fun to hear it. The gist is you pay at least £1 as a donation to Macmillan's Cancer Research, and in exchange for that, you first of all get to be entered in a prize draw where the winner gets a playmat, as Joe said, and the loser gets a set of house cards. And you also get to choose a card that will go in my deck. And the more you bid, either the earlier you get to choose that card, or the more cards you get to choose, depending on how much you bid.
Oh, you're not doing faction and agenda this time?
No, it's much more complicated than that. It's glorious.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously, Macmillan's a great charity. So, was it you guys got? How much did you guys get last year for it?
800.
800. That's pretty awesome.
We're up to we got a bunch of donations today. I think approximately about £250 overall.
Cool.
But that's
I know I've got £177 currently raised for my deck. and that's still with a week to go, and a few people who said they're going to donate. So
Cool.
either we're going to get more, or people are going to get shamed, both of which I'm fine with.
Yep, that's fair. It's for charity, so that's definitely good.
Yeah, and then you've got a bunch of people who've signed up to play, haven't you?
Yeah.
A lot more promised beyond that.
Yeah, there's like we did £10 of the ticket price goes straight to charity, so gets quite a bit from the tickets.
And this is going to be in the new Dice Saloon location?
No, it is at
Oh, this is the pub, isn't it?
pub
Sorry.
called King and Queens, which is I believe it's quite well known within Netrunner.
I've also done a couple of Flames of War tournaments there. It's a really good venue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely. I mean, it's in a pub, so
Yep.
charity, gaming, pub. That's three pretty awesome things.
Yep. That's what we hope.
Cool. Okay, guys. Well, definitely, please definitely do check that out. If you can make it down, that would be amazing. And it's really good work that Joe and Gabby are doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys. Any other last stuff before do you actually find the sign up?
Nope.
Cool. Wamma, again, thank you very much for doing the list
That's
and coming on. Joe, thank you for making the first episode of the year.
Yeah. Thank you. Hopefully this one doesn't get lost.
Oh God, please don't. I can't have another one get lost. And guys, on that very worrying bombshell, it's been emotional.